Hey you.
Me?
Yes, you.
What up?
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
Hell yeah!
GLM Designs can help you with just that.
Word?
From laptop skins,
You lying?
promotional flyers,
Yo, son!
promo videos,
I need that!
OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds,
Hey, yo, let me get that!
professional one-sheets, and so much more.
Oh my god.
Please visit our
I'm on
website,
it right now!
GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs.
Got it!
Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World.
Follow it!
GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs. Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is GO time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
What's good, folks? Another week, another Wednesday. So you know what that means. It's a brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today? I'm your host, Jay.
It's hump day! All right. It's Pocket, yo. What is popping? And if you weren't here last week, just take a look. Just let me move out the way. Y'all can see it.
Woo! Shout out to GLM. Another good job.
And shout out to Trulu, man. I was worried about you. I actually asked about him today, didn't you? I asked about him. Glad to see you back, man. I understand you got to make them ducats to get them buckets.
So let's just jump right into it today. Do we want to do how we did last week, or we just gonna jump right into what we got to talk about?
Well, actually, no, because remember, we ended with that. That's a good thing to end in. If we start there, we ain't never going to get anywhere else.
All right, so
But you know what? You know who we started? You know what we need to start with? Jackass of the week. We got to go right there, right away. We got to go there.
You know what? Somebody even asked me, why are we going to even waste some airspace on this?
I'm not going to waste airspace. I'm telling you, Jackass of the week. Anytime Kwame Brown comes
and calls you NBA dumb boy.
Anytime Kwame Brown, of all people, if y'all don't know who Kwame Brown is, look at Michael Jordan's first pick ever as owner of the Wizards. That's what Kwame Brown is. Such a bum. So bad that Jordan had to come out of retirement to play with the Wizards to show the boy how to play. And it still didn't work. But man. Ja Morant, so you're going to lose about 40-something games. And what they're talking about is you ain't even getting paid for them 40 games. Now, my whole thing about it is, Nike, y'all need to go back begging and pleading to Kyrie.
I don't know. Wow.
And that's my thoughts on that. But congratulations, Ja Morant. You are definitely
our dumbass of the week.
Of the month.
Possibly of the year. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's still kind of early. But he's up there.
He's up there. Top three.
He's up there.
Top three, not 2 or 3.
As y'all can see, we've been having a pretty good day. Started pre-gaming today, feeling kind of good. Doc Rivers and Monty Williams got fired this week.
And let's not talk about Bud, Coach Bud.
Yeah,
he got fired too. Well, now, here's what I'm going to say. What do y'all think about this? About the Doc Rivers thing?
I agree with you. Doc Rivers is not going to win you a championship, and until Monty Williams knows how to properly use rotations and talents of what he has, he won't get you a championship either.
Now, what's funny?
That's just my opinion.
I want to say this. I didn't see in this article. I read it, and I should have said it to you. Steven Jackson, shut up, man. You talking about? Well, you're going to fire him and bring in a white coach, and he's going to help them win. Who cares the color of the skin? The man doesn't know how to do rotations. Phoenix made it to the finals in spite of what he was doing. If anybody, you talk to anybody else, they should have won that. There was no reason they should have lost. What's his name? Giannis was hurt. He was hobbled and still scored 50 points in a closeout game because y'all didn't show up. People want to talk about being blown out. Giannis scored 50 on y'all in a closeout. You want to talk about the past couple of years? You lost to Dallas, getting blown out in your own stadium. This year, you got blown out by Denver. Same scenario in your own stadium. Now, two things I do want to point out. We talked about this a lot. What came out afterwards is that DeAndre Ayton was hurt. I think he was hurt a lot earlier than what was stated. I don't think he was hurt this series. I think he got hurt the series before, and he just tried to play through it, and he couldn't do it. If you look at how he was laboring himself, if you go back and just look at YouTube, just watch DeAndre Ayton, and you'll see he wasn't playing the same way he had been all year round. He was not. So I just think in that point, don't blame him. Jokic, look what he did to the Lakers last night. A 30-point triple-double. I mean, yeah, they almost lost the game, but he still had a 30-point triple-double. So don't blame Ayton. Jokic is on another level. He's trying to do some things.
Yeah. Y'all know how this works, and for those our seasoned viewers knows how this works. Hit that like button. Let us know that you're tuning in. Those that are new to the program, hit that like button. Let us know that you're tuning in. Share it. Make sure that we get new viewers each and every week, especially if you like the content of what we're talking about.
And last but not least, Doc Rivers. I saved him for last. Why? Because my opinion is he's not a great coach, y'all. He's not. Do you look at the Boston Celtics championship? They won because of the talent, not the coaching.
I have to agree with you on that.
They won because of the talent.
Their talent, that team was
yeah, Kevin Garnett. You got Ray Allen. You got Paul Pierce. You had Rajon Rondo in his prime.
Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was
no, he wasn't.
He was coming off the bench.
He was not nowhere near that team. Marcus Smart, not that old. When the Celtics won the championship, he wasn't on the team. The last championship the Celtics won, do you know how long ago? Kobe was playing. They beat Kobe. You mean to tell me Marcus Smart been around that long? He was not around when they during that time.
He's 29. When did they go?
(2014) first round pick.
When did so 2014? He's been. You might be right.
Go ahead, go look it up. We'll take a pause right now. Go ahead, look it up.
No, go ahead.
Just look up the Celtics last championship team's roster. That's all.
Go ahead. Keep going.
But at the same time, they won in spite of his coaching. People have to understand. No matter how great a coach you are, that can only take your team so far. That can only take your team so far. That's why when they get these Coach of the Year awards, I don't think they really do their research to give it to the right candidate. I really don't. There's some coaches that don't get
Coach of the Year?
Yeah, they don't give it to the right coaches a lot of times. They give it to the ones with the best record, or they had a terrible season last year, but they
sometimes they do give it to the ones that are deserving of it.
I've never seen it.
You don't think so?
No, because they give it to the people with the best record, or they had a big turnaround.
Yeah,
but
you don't think that big
turnaround. You need to look at the teams. Any coach to me that can come out there and take a pure rotation. Oklahoma City is a perfect example of this. They have talent that play beyond what the team concept
under Nick Nurse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think isn't he? I don't know who I don't think he's not coaching this year. Nick Nurse got fired this year.
You're talking about just recently.
Oklahoma City this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
This year.
I thought you were talking about past. Okay.
Oklahoma City this year, like nobody gave them much to. Sacramento was very well deserving because they did something that nobody else did.
Yes.
But then they came up against Phoenix playoffs.
We saw what happened with that. Yeah.
I mean, Do I think they're going to do it again? Mike Brown has a history of not doing back-to-back unless he got LeBron. So we'll see how it works. But that's my thing. Doc Rivers, maybe he needs to go to Taiwan with Dwight Howard. You need to go to Taiwan with Dwight Howard. I mean, I think, what's his name from Memphis is going to head out there. Right?
Yeah. Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan the villain.
Huh.
But yeah, that's a couple things right there. But we saved the best for last, didn't we? Because this weekend, this Saturday, my boxing fans, the time is now. What do I mean? Undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney finally gets to go against
Lomachenko.
Vasily Lomachenko. That's going to be a hell of a matchup. I don't care what the betting books say. I don't bet, but I tell you what, it's going to be an awfully close fight.
You think
It's
so?
all going to be an awfully close fight.
You would hope so.
You're looking at someone who has a decorated amateur career, a decorated professional. If you think about it, because he's fighting. What do people don't understand? Lomachenko is just like Usyk. He's fighting in a class that he probably should not be in. You think about all the great heavyweights that's out there. Nobody thought Usyk was going to beat Joshua, and not only did he beat him once, he beat him twice. Fury scared of him. The only heavyweight that we know of that will get in the ring with him that has said it is your boy. Bomb Squad. That's right, Deontay Wilder. He said he'll do it. Let me get a chance. But the thing is, Fury wants him to get a chance because he knows he's got a chance of knocking him out. And then he can say, I beat the man that beat him, but you want me to fight him? Yeah, whatever. Tyson, call it a day. I'm not going to bring up Rolly. He doesn't deserve. Well, I'm not going to blame him. But he knows damn well he didn't win that fight. I'm just going to talk about that. That's how I'm going to say. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, go look it up. Rolly Romero fought this weekend against the landscaper. And the landscaper was winning. And then you could tell he was gassing out. And Rolly probably would have won had it gone a little bit further. But it was such an early stoppage to the point where people are thinking it something was going on. The referee was paid off. Tony Weeks was paid off. Do I think so?
Probably.
I don't know if he was paid off, but I think it was an early stoppage. And what I try to do is look at it objectively from the stand of what is he seeing? And from what I saw, the guy when Romero was hitting him in the corner, although it was missing, he looked tired. His eyes were in the back of his head. I was like, although Romero was missing, and direct shots weren't hitting. He hit him a couple of times. He gave him some good shots, but you could tell he was tired. And he didn't fight the stoppage. He smiled and laughed and shook his head. So he didn't fight the stoppage. So he's basically saying, oh, man, thanks. So it is what it is at this point. Are they going to take the win back? Are they going to take the belt back? I don't know.
We'll see. I think as it gets closer to a bigger fight, we'll find out what happens.
Well, you're right. You're right. Because, I mean, I didn't tell you this, but the rumor, lock up 22nd, 29th in the first weekend of August. Because it looks like Spence and Crawford are almost there. They've been talking to each other with no promoters, trying to lock this thing in. And it's just a matter of somebody asking for more than what they're worth. Sounds like it's Crawford to me. But I'm not going to say that. I like both of these fighters. I hope they do get it. And I hope they get in there because that's going to be a hell of a fight. Lock it in, folks. The 22nd, the 29th, or the first weekend of August. Those are the 3 dates we're looking at for the undisputed welterweight championship.
And I want to keep it in entertainment right now. Did you hear? I'm sure you heard about this because we talked about it yesterday. Jay-Z and Rock Nation.
Man, I'm telling you what, if I had a business model, I would love to have this business model.
And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Jay-Z wants to build a casino in Times Square. And I'm here for it.
And the rumor
I'm here for it.
And the rumor we're starting is that when you're playing on the craps table, you're gonna hear
another one.
DJ Khaled. It's another one.
Another one.
You're playing blackjack, you're gonna hear Diddy say, take that.
I'm not with you.
But you know what? If he does it, which he's probably gonna do, and who's stopping him? They love him there. He's putting it in New York. That's more money for the state, more money, people making money.
And that's why he's doing it. He wants to bring more tourist money to New York. What do y'all think about that? Like, at the end of the day, do you think that this will be a good idea or a bad idea? And
Now,
if so, why?
Here's my fly on the wall. Here's what I want people to think about. Atlantic City is coming back in boxing, right?
Okay.
Madison Square Garden is becoming more popular in boxing. Think business. What is Jay-Z? We've talked about the fact we know he wants to put casino there. But what comes with casino? A venue for what? For other things, for athletes, for musicians, for entertainers, period. Why not? Think about what he did for the Brooklyn Nets. Why not?
They can have a losing season and still win.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So people, like I said, if I could just be a fly on the wall during his meetings. Now, here's the thing. What money is he using? We didn't even talk about that. This man has won, we looked this up, 3 to 4 lawsuits in the past year that he's won. 3 to 4 lawsuits, and that's probably the money.
$1.5 billion that he's won in lawsuits, but he's investing $2.3 billion into it and looking for more investors.
And what was it? One of the ones that came out that said they may be going with him. It was somebody.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, Gabrielle Union. Talking about she might be in on it. I mean, her and her man already own part of the Utah Jazz, so why not? Why not flip that money, man? Flip it.
I got the keys.
That's gonna be intro song when you walk in the building. So shout out to young minority entrepreneurs doing the damn thing. I guess not young anymore.
No.
Minority entrepreneurs doing the damn thing. You just let me go on and say it. Ooh, excuse me.
So, what do y'all think about that? Jay-Z trying to put a casino. Better yet, here's another question. What do you think it'll be called?
That's what we're trying to.
Yeah. What do you think Jay-Z would call this shit?
The Rock, maybe. I can see it.
The Rock Casino?
Yeah. There's no time going to casino. He's going to say The Rock. That's it. Or could just basically name it Rock Nation. Rock Nation Hotel and Casino.
I don't think he could do that.
He can because he owns it. He owns it. It still is. Rockefeller still is. Still his baby. But as we have many succeeding, we have some that are still struggling to succeed. What do I mean? What do I mean? Well, last week we were talking about the healthcare industry, right? We got into a deep diving discussion trying to understand the whys, or not even the whys, right? It was more or less we wanted to state what we have experienced, what other people that we know of close to us have experienced. But we didn't really dive into one area which we want to get into today. And what that is why is it that people don't want to go to the hospital?
Here's a fun fact that I looked up. We actually kind of looked this up. But there's roughly about 26 to 30 million Americans.
I think it was 27.8, right? 27.8 million?
Okay, let's just say that to 30 million. Round it up. About 30 million individuals don't have.
I don't know what math class you were in, but if I'm around 27.8, that goes to 28 million, not 30. And there's a reason they do it that way.
Well, even 28, 30, you're not that far off. That's a skew of, let's just say that you got a margin of error of 2 million. Right?
Okay, so that means if you have 28 million and you're so close to 30 million, you're going to say, you know what? I ain't worried about that 2 million.
Some health insurance companies don't. You're proving my point right then and there. That don't even have healthcare insurance. They're not even. You're proving my point right there. Why is that? Why is that?
You know why?
Are they scared to go, or
it goes back to the treatment of how you're treated. How many of us have gone to the doctor?
Or how their family was treated before them?
Oh yeah, because word of mouth travels in the family.
Exactly.
Word of mouth is the worst thing you can do is do something wrong and it passes on to the next person. So I mean, oh, I ain't going there. I know I've had a bad experience, and I've shared it with you with a doctor that just would not listen. And I said, and I told them, I said, you know what? You're not even listening to me. Why am I wasting my time? Gotta please. She's like, well, I haven't given you my, like, you know what? I don't care what you have to say. You're not listening to me, so why should I care what you have to say to me? That doesn't make any sense. You don't want to take into consideration what your patient's saying. You're making my blood pressure rise. When I come in here, my blood pressure should be settled. I should not have to go through that.
Or when you have an advocate that's fighting for you, and again, they want to do what's best. You try to tell them, okay, well, X, Y, you told me to do A, B, and C. It's not working. Here's what I found that happened when I did A, B, and C. So X, Y, Z has to work. I've done some research.
And then you tell them that, they're going to say, well, you know, that's discredited. That's just WebMD. That's just this. Like, no. You need to listen to what I'm telling you. Now, I do understand, like, when they say the most underrepresented are the minorities. And the reason why people, you want to say
underqualified too.
People want to, and I want to say this, and I mean it. When I say minorities, I don't just mean by the color of your skin. I'm talking about the person that comes in there with an accent as well. That's a minority when you, because that's not an American. We don't have accents as Americans per se. We don't have foreign accents. We have our own northern accent, southern accent, you know, stuff like that, slang and speak. But we don't have a European accent, Western European, Eastern European, Norwegian. We don't have these type of accents. We're not going to get treated. We are going to get treated the same, because guess what? You know what the doctor's going to say? You know what? Whatever. I'm going to treat you like how the common person's supposed to be treated and call it a day. They don't look at the different factors of, oh, well, in your demographic, my case, African-American, black male, 45-year-old, whatever risk factors, you know, whatever, this runs in your family. Well, the average 45-year-old person, that's a male, we need to do a prostate check. Well, we already did that? Okay, so we'll see you in another 10 or 15 years. Stop. Did you know that now they've changed it? The detector prostate for men has been lowered because of what happened to minority, specifically African-American men. They've changed it because it's been so much happening with African-American men specifically that they're getting the prostate cancer earlier. Nobody knows the root cause. You want to know why I put it in quotation marks? How many times have we heard back or through the years that experiments were done? Not just the Holocaust people, not just them. That was just a cut. They've been testing on African people, African men, Spaniards.
Moors.
Exactly.
Moors.
So not just people from the Holocaust. People always want to stop there. Me and Jay, we talked about this the other day. We always hear about Adolf Hitler and his impact on history, how evil a man he was. I'm going to give you a number. Only 2 million.
Now, when you say only, you can't use that only 2 million. 2 million, that's still a lot of people.
Well, when I can name somebody that killed 10 times that amount, I think I can say only 2 million.
And then knowing some of the people, hey, it was only 20 million niggers.
Oh, I not even know the skills. So, Africans. So it's
all right. Well, Moors, same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I wouldn't use loosely. So I wouldn't use the word only loosely so much. I avoid them as much as possible because they're anti-Holocaustic and greedy.
Yeah, you're talking about I'm assuming, Jewish community. What are you talking about?
I think he's talking about. What are you talking about, Trulu? Like specifically?
Oh, doctors. I got it. Doctors. He's talking about doctors.
Hospitals.
Yeah, and hospitals because hospitals and doctors. Yeah. I got you. I'm with you on that. Me and my wife talk about that all the time. I talk about like a lot of the symptoms that I get with some of the medications I'm on. I keep saying I need to go holistically. But what's funny about that? Your medical insurance doesn't cover necessarily holistic medicine.
That part.
Why?
And we kind of touched on that last week. I think we did, because at the end of the day, what it comes down to, you take a medication, you got a side effect for it. Guess what they're going to do?
Give you another medication.
Give you another medication for that. Instead of when you go holistically, your teas, your herbs.
But we talked about last week how they treat the symptoms. They don't treat.
They're not meant to cure.
Right.
They're meant to treat.
Meaning they want you to keep you on this because guess what?
They
keep
make
you going.
money.
It's like a residual for them, a residual income. And when you think about a residual income, yeah, that's you. That's your mom, your sister, your parent, your siblings, your kids. That's your household. I can just treat this. Why cure it? If I cure it, I ain't never gonna see you again.
I can't make no more money. Not off of you. But if you think about it like this, if there was cures for different things, how many millions of people live in, billions of people live in this planet? There's still enough money to be made. And people can be able to eat healthy, be able to live healthier.
What's funny, I always wondered, and I've given this some thought, and I put it down on paper to understand. Do people understand why organic is so expensive?
Me and somebody were having a conversation about that earlier today, and we were talking about have you noticed that every time you buy, everybody starts buying more and more lettuce, all of a sudden there's a lettuce recall. There's either E. coli or there's this, that, and everything else.
There's a mealworm, there's all that stuff going on.
Also in tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, stuff like that. So all the stuff that you're eating healthy, they can't patent anything natural. Well, Bill Gates just patented something in regards to seeds. Have you read that?
Yeah.
I'm sure truly you've heard this too. He's patenting a seed that will target certain genes in certain individuals. It's like a kill switch. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Well, and so I guess you got to explain a little bit more what you mean by that. So when we're talking kill switch, it's basically Bill Gates is trying to do what Dr. Sebi kind of initiated, meaning, well, let me target that cancer gene. If we can kill it, less people die of cancer. But killing that gene, because there's actually healing cancers as well. You don't know about that because they don't talk about it enough. There are some cancers that are good for your body. There are some spores, some bacteria that are in your body that are good for you. You need to encourage. You need to feed those bacteria. You need to nurture them. Because if you don't, when you're kind of like when your pH balance gets off, you already know when your electrolytes are low. You can tell. I know because I felt it before. My electrolytes were low. I was feeling lethargic and stuff like that. I was like, I need to drink. I need to get something with electrolytes, something with salt, something to help bump my electrolytes back up. Now, again, Bill Gates, there's a lot of things that he's doing. There's a lot of great that he's doing, but then everybody wants to talk about the negative of the good that he's doing. You need to watch that.
Are you in favor of this genetic seed that is procreate?
Considering the benefits of what it's supposed to do.
That's what it's supposed to do on paper, but we don't know what it's necessarily going to do.
I got a question for you. If a black man came up with that same exact seed, would you feel the same way?
Truth be told, yes.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because I've watched and sat back different people that do that. There's like people that are picking apart Bill Gates because he's coming with stuff just like Dr. Sebi. And you also think, have you seen Bill Gates in public?
Actually, he was just out here.
I'm talking about, have you seen him in public?
Me personally?
Times?
No.
Have you realized some of the things that he's doing differently for his own family?
He was actually just out here. It's funny that you mentioned how you've seen him in public.
The Silicon Valley thing.
No, he was actually up north at NAU. He got an honorary doctorate degree and was out there graduation.
Right, but that's not the reason actually he was out here. He's still building the valley
out there.
Which is pretty much. I think it's all. I don't know if it's almost completed.
No,
but it's not. The groundwork is being.
Groundwork is done, but they still got to build the structures and stuff like that. I
And
actually
the
went out there last week.
Because the groundwork of what's been done is the fiber optics that nobody really wanted. And what's funny is the fact that he put fiber optics, guess what that did?
It's a company called Wire. Shout out to Wire. I see them in my neighborhood all the damn time.
That they realized, like, well, you know what, fiber optics may be good. Maybe. You kidding me? Fiber optics is what you want. It's less latency. It's a lot of things. It helps with gaming. If you game, it helps a lot with. I mean, people still do fax, unfortunately, but and things like that. So, but what they want to do, they want to discredit him, just like they did again, Dr. Sebi. What did they do to him? They put him in jail because they said, "Oh, he's a chemical terrorist." They denied him all of his natural medicines, and what ended up happening when they denied him? Somehow or another, he died in custody.
Did Bill Gates finally get his family vaccinated? That's a great question. I don't know.
You know what, Trulu?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
From what I understood, it was clickbait. So I don't know for a fact that I can confirm that, but I've seen a couple of news outlets saying that was clickbait. Because I know he came out himself. He said he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to put his family through it.
But it's two voices in that household. So
I don't think he did it, bro. And even if the family did it, he didn't do it.
That's him. That's his choice.
Yeah.
But you know what's great? That's what we have, that freedom of choice, which we are somewhat getting back. You know why? Because people want the free healthcare. They want to be able to not have to pay for it. I'm tying back into that. But do you really?
I'm not saying that affordable. I'm not saying
not affordable.
Let me finish. I'm not saying that that healthcare should be free. I am saying that it should be affordable, which it is not right now.
So my whole thing is, even if you make it generally affordable, where are they supposed to be cutting? Like, and I'm not disagreeing with it not being affordable. What I'm saying is, where should the cutbacks be made? Should it be big pharma? Should it be in how the billing is done? Like, something does need to change.
I think all of the above. Me personally, big pharma makes too much money off of a 50-cent pill. Insurance, their coding is skewed. We've seen numerous of examples and numerous of evidence of irregular billing. So I think if they can be able to get that under control, then yeah, we might be able to have some affordable health care.
I baited you so hard there because I knew you were going to go there. One thing I know that's already changed with our insurance used to be that you had a separate when you need anesthesia, it used to be a separate one, and then we had an issue a few years ago. My wife had surgery, and we had to pay out of pocket for the esthetician because it wasn't a network, and that was very common happening. So you know what they did? They went back and changed that.
Okay.
They went back and changed that now, saying you can't. Whoever is working from beginning to end with a patient and with my insurance, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to, and they have to disclose if they're not. And if they're not, you have to let them know, what you want to do. Now, technically, the insurance should have still paid for it. It was a surgery that needed to happen. Mm-hmm. So it should have been paid for.
But it was a medical necessity insurance. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So looking at it was that, and that happened. Actually, I think it happened more than once. And we got to the point like, okay, when I had my procedure this past fall, I'm like, wait a minute. And it's like, oh no, everything is a network now. Like, are we sure? We just went through this crap with my wife, where she had surgery and stuff done. And we found out later it was the anesthesiologist was not covered because it was out of network, which makes no sense. If I never could understand it. If you work in the same building as my doctor, you should be on my goddamn insurance.
And what I found out about that too, it depends on the contracts because there's some contracts where certain specialty visits.
I got a question for you.
Is
it our job to know what's on the contract?
No,
being served?
You're absolutely right. But I've had that experience where, okay, somebody needed to see a specialist while they were inpatient, okay? Well, this particular person that they're referring you to can only see outpatient patients just based off their contract that they have with that hospital or that network. It sucks. And these are the things of what we're bringing across you guys that you guys should pay attention to and look out for, because this is what needs to change.
But at the same time, if
know your policy as best you can.
It's not about knowing your policy, because either way, it's not going to tell you what anesthesia is covered. They're supposed to disclose. Oh, because they do the check beforehand. They do any surgery. They do the check beforehand to let you know who is covered, who is under your insurance. They do that before, and they're supposed to disclose that. They should disclose that. And if they're not, that's where you have a fight at. You can sit there and fight. And between the insurance and the hospital, one of y'all should be paying it. I'm not going on a payment plan because of your screw up. Another thing that happens, copays. I love copays.
Copays are getting ridiculous.
I love it. Once again, I talk about the procedure again. So they made me pay before I had my procedure done, right? A copay. And I'm like, I don't think I owe that much. Oh, no.
Hold on. They made you pay your copay before your...
Yeah.
I've never...
While you're there, you can say you never, but I can guarantee I can have 3 people right now sign in and tell you that it's the same thing. When you go to get you, before they even see you for the procedure, they're going to make you pay. You can fight with them all day, but they're not.
I'm trying to think in regards to what my mom and certain other people that I've took into procedures. I'm trying to think.
But it's amazing. And again, you got to remember, I don't have state or federal insurance. I have it through my employer. So if you're going to compare the two, it ain't going to work that way, because we already discussed that, how they're 2 totally separate beasts.
What was your copay?
What was it? I think it was $170,
$75.
No, $170.
Yeah, $170. Yeah, that was about what.
But here's the thing: then I end up getting a check later back
for reimbursement
for $160.
Yeah,
because after I sat there and tried to argue with them, I'm like, I need to get the procedure done.
You know what's funny? It's funny that you mentioned that. I actually got a reimbursement check back on the doctor's visit that I had a copay that I shouldn't have had a copay for.
Because I hate to say it, they talk about, oh, they want your insurance information and they're supposed to check. Do they really check? I mean, is there any healthcare professional watching right now that can tell me that they actually are checking? I don't think you can. I don't think that nurse taking your information at the front desk that tells you have a copay is checking to see what your copay is. Better yet, if they checked it, they probably checked it 3 days ago before something else happened and came through.
Yeah, because you got to check in and be pre-registered and all this other stuff for your appointment, so they already know. They already know what your copay is.
They're supposed to know. They supposedly know. Because I've had it happen at the doctor's office. I go in there. Oh, this is your copay. I'm like, no, actually, I'm maxed out. Well, that's not what we show. I know I'm maxed out. I showed them my insurance thing. Well, you still got to pay this, or we can't do anything. I was like, all right, you know, what's the minimum I can pay? Because that's what I'll pay you.
But you get that reimbursement back.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Or actually, no. I'm going to say this. Not every time you get the reimbursement back. Sometimes it just sits there as a credit. And every time you come in, it's still just being rolled over. And that's what I thought. They're supposed to check your insurance. Half the time, I don't think they really do. I really don't think they do.
I thank God for the doctors that I got, because they do. They definitely do. Because I get
but you just said you had a reimbursement check, so obviously something failed at that point.
Well, yeah. Well, that was a doctor's visit that I didn't even want to go to begin with. So I'm glad that I got that money back. And like we discussed on the last podcast, certain copay, and this is what I don't understand. Why is certain people copay so damn high?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, just to know that the insurance company or the doctors, whoever's getting that money on that copay is playing around with the money like banks do, that they issue a refund back.
And they take the time.
You know what I'm saying? I got a refund check from 2020. How? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
It's what can you do? Like what can you do? We're talking about healthcare reform, we really can't do anything about. Except, we can all refuse to go to the doctor, then we're all going to get sick because that's the way it's made. That's the way it's made. I tell you what, if we can find one holistic doctor in the city of Phoenix, and we all go to that doctor, you know what's going to get happening? That person's going to get a call.
You need to
from
shut
the board.
down.
No, from the board, not even a shutdown. From the board to find out what are you doing differently that we're not. They're not going to shut them down because they're going to try and figure out how. Because guess what? They still have to pay their dues to the board.
That's one way too. Eat better and stay physically active.
That's one way. That's one way. But then, honestly, how can you eat better with all the pesticides on food? See,
now I know what Trula was saying in conjunction to that. Buy your own land, grow your own stuff.
Who has the money to get land right now?
There are some people that might just be able to.
We're talking about the majority, not the some. Yeah, we can all chip in together if you can put it like that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we all chip in and get three lettuce plants, 3 shrimping plants, 3 all these plants, and we all got a family household of 4, one of them days we're going to go out there and somebody ain't getting nothing. Somebody's going to still have to go back to the store. What's funny, remember we talked about this last week about TikTok, and I think you sent me an article. I think it's Minnesota.
Minnesota
is banning TikTok in their state, which I don't know how that's going to happen.
Is it Minnesota? I just want to double check and confirm. It is Montana.
Montana, yeah.
Montana has banned TikTok in their whole entire state.
I don't know how that's going to work. Which is funny to me because you think about Montana, there's a lot of stuff that's organically grown in Montana.
Like what?
I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. That's in the middle of nowhere. That's where the good stuff's going to be. You're laughing, but you think about it. When you go to these northern middle states, I don't like to go to the Middle East, but you can go to the Middle East too. Probably get better food over there. At least not all the crap that we have.
Yeah.
You got to till your soil. How are you going to clean the soil? I love seeing the signs that says, "We want clean dirt." Before I moved out here, never seen a sign like that.
Just got to stay diligent on what you eat and where you get it from.
That's the road we got to do. That's what you got to do.
Still doesn't hurt to grow your own shit.
No, it doesn't. But at the same time, go back to this one. There's so many carcinogens and things in the dirt, in the soil that are being lifted up. Think about this year with allergies being the worst all across the United States, not even the world. Allergies are the worst. Top of the line right now. So that means something's going on, being kicked up in the dirt. Well, you know who's winning on that one, right? The allergy doctors. I'm quite sure they're booked out to at least August. With people with allergies because, hey, that's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. I applaud anyone who can faithfully say they're doing their best for their health. I applaud anyone that can say that. Now,
you know what? And here's something that we were talking about earlier too, in regards to, over the past 5 to 10 years, there's been changes in healthcare protocols that's made more millions of Americans have healthcare. Because as of right now, there's about 300 million or over 300 million individuals that do have. And let's just say that the biggest age group gap that don't see doctors are between 20 and 30, right? Fair enough to say,
and
right?
I'm glad you said that. What age group has the most mental problems?
20 to 30. Now, let me finish my thought real quick. Crazy part about it, you're starting to find more middle-aged middle 20-year-olds, middle-aged people 25 and more, with health insurance that want to keep it now more than what you saw the previous 8 to 10 years ago. They found a benefit in having it. That's what I was getting at, if that makes sense.
Well, there's a benefit in having it, but the cost is too great.
It is. It really
because look at the price of everything out there. You got to either I got to pay my insurance, I got to pay my health insurance, I got to pay my car insurance,
note,
I got to pay
rent.
my car note, I got to pay rent or mortgage. Oh, and I got to get groceries. Something's got to give.
Yeah. And with the groceries going as high as they are, car insurance and everything else like that, mortgage insurance, renters insurance, it's just becoming too much.
True, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned. Do you know how many people in Arizona do not know about the farmers markets, although they're advertised?
They're becoming more and more popular, believe it.
Yeah, they're becoming more popular now because people are realizing they got to do something. They got to get their vegetables. They got to get that stuff somehow for cheaper than going to fries. People are. I want to go back to what I was talking about TikTok. I got off topic. We talked about this last week. There's so many videos on TikToks on how to clean your vegetables that people have been doing for years to get the toxins, get the nasties out of your fruit. I used to get sick when I ate strawberries, so I stopped eating them.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped eating them completely. I don't even touch a strawberry. My wife eat them, my kids eat them, not me. I used to get sick of them, even after Washington. Then when I saw exactly, you should be soaking them with a quarter cup of vinegar, a capful of vinegar with warm water and this other stuff, and add this other stuff, and you start seeing all the toxins come out. And then you're like, oh boy. Or better yet, don't buy your fruit at Fry's. Don't buy your fruit at Safeway. Do like Trulu just said. Right there. Farmers markets, direct buys. You know what? A lot of them do not have half of the pesticides that are in the fruit that you get at the market. They don't have them apples covered with that wax. They're all natural and they last longer.
Or like my uncle, grow it himself.
Exactly. Grow it yourself. It'll last longer.
Like my uncle, he literally has his own vegetable garden, got his own goats and chickens. So he's getting milk, fruit, meat, eggs.
You mean to tell me that man has a Barry Bonds and a Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's a bad man.
And sunflowers naturally clean the soil.
You know what's funny, Trulu? My son, his cousin, shout out to Shannon. She bought him a sunflower plants, and those things already sprouted. So we've already replanted them, and they're growing just as crazy. They're going crazy. My daughter, she got a lavender plant, which it takes a little bit longer to cultivate. I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks for it to root and start growing at all. And it's funny you say that. I keep thinking about going to get my own. I can't think of the guy's name. There's a guy on TikTok, and he shows you I think I've sent you a few of his videos where he shows you how to take a pineapple and take all these different fruits and vegetables that you get at the store. Then you go cut up whatever, but keep the root or keep the seed, and shows you how to cultivate it and make a humidor to make it grow. By all means, it's coming to that point, y'all.
Well, I want to transition a little
Actually,
bit.
I'm sorry, it's at that point. I said it's coming.
I want to transition a little bit because you had mentioned in regards to the healthcare program not being able to reform the way that we might want it to. Do you honestly think that if we can, and we kind of talked about it last week a little bit, we touched on it last week, lawmakers, politicians, legislations that are in place right now, don't you think if we can change that, we might have a chance in changing policy as far as mental health, medical health care?
What do you mean by changing the policy with mental health? Because remember we discussed before that quite a few businesses, they offer free mental health service.
Free do, yeah.
And that's becoming way more popular. And I applaud the businesses across the U.S. at least. I don't know about the world because we never hear about the world, which we talk about that a lot. We only know what goes in the U.S. because we have that freedom of speech, the free press. We don't know what really goes on in London. We don't know about Paris. We don't know about the Middle East because they have muted access. We only know kind of, again, TikTok. Again, social media. And then some of their social medias are muted as well. But where was I going with that? Where did I start with?
I wonder where you were going with that. We were talking about in regards to changing legislation.
Oh yeah, the changing legislature. Now we talk about that, but here's the thing: the only way you're going to change legislature if you stop letting them have free healthcare.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said that. And we talked about this last week as well. Those that don't know, you sit in Congress for 1 or 2 terms, you got free health care for the rest of your life. When is that possible? How is that possible? How is that even fair? Truly, chime in. We want to hear from you.
Like, if you think about this, if Sleepy Joe and I had the same coverage, do you think he would be the same way he is? Do you think we wouldn't get some reform? If, well, he's already got St. George Cross, he passed away a few years ago, but just looking at it, just Nancy Pelosi, do you think if she had the same coverage, that things would be the same way they were? Like they wouldn't care? If they had to pay for everybody in their household to have coverage, it'd be a little bit different. If they had to pay pet insurance like everybody else, it'd be a little bit different. I say a little and I'm exaggerating, but y'all know what I mean. It'd be a hell of a lot different. You got to hit these people where it hurts. If we were to sit there, let's just say 20% of the population starts growing their own fruits and vegetables. I'm not saying you go to a farmer and get it. I'm saying you grow it yourself. 20% of the population. Actually, I'll take that back. 20% of the population of Phoenix. 20%. Yeah, 20%. Just 20, flat 20. We'll say a flat 20.
Yeah.
We'll say a flat 20%. Do you know the impact that would have, one, on our lives?
Yeah, actually, less than 20%. If we're doing across the nation, let's just say 7%.
No, I say 20 for a reason. 7% is a good start, but 20%, everybody starts looking at themselves like, wait a minute.
What am I doing? Yeah.
Where's my money going?
Yeah.
Where's the money I was getting from Big Pharma? Why am I not getting that money anymore? Guess because there's no kickbacks because everybody's getting healthy. They done figured it out. Okay, well, you know what? Let's figure out how we can pollute the land.
That's next, bro. I'm telling you, that's the next one up. They're going to figure out how to pollute the land. I guarantee you, they're already trying to do that.
You know what's funny? They don't have to pollute the land. They pollute the food that we have.
That could possibly happen.
Remember, was it last month or the month before, how the cows were eating a bad feed? No, I'm sorry, not the cows. The chickens are not having eggs. Remember that? There was an egg shortage because the chickens, because of the feed they were eating, there was an egg shortage. So what did we see eggs do? The highest they've ever got. Eggs cost more than a gallon of milk. Why? Because there's an egg shortage because of the feed. They said it was tied to the feed. Well, come to find out, there were some farmers that were making their own feed that were not affected. So what ended up happening? Big Pharma went out there and said, how are you getting more eggs than your neighbor over here? What are you doing differently?
Oh, I love that period because I didn't have to, when eggs was at its all-time high, I wasn't paying for them.
Man, we were bartering eggs. What are you talking about? I was doing eggs like I was selling other things.
Look, I was going to my uncle. Hey,
I tell you what, I would turn in eggs like a street pharmacy.
Look, I was getting eggs for $2 a dozen from my uncle.
People y'all don't understand. Y'all do not understand.
Bartering is the key of life.
Now, the bartering system.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
The bartering system is funny to me. You know why?
Why?
Because people forgot how to do it.
But it's
I'm going to give you these 2 packs of gum for them 4 pencils. That sounds like a good deal.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm talking about the thought process. Now, to me, I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
1 pack of gum, 4 pencils. I'm sorry.
I didn't give him the whole pack. I'm sorry. There's 18 sticks in the pack. 4 pencils, that means I got to sharpen them.
Yep.
So I give you.
I'll take a pack for
8 pieces of gum for 4 pencils, and you better take it.
Nope. I'm sorry.
That's 2 pieces of gum per pencil.
I want the pack.
I still got to do all the work.
Well, here's what's going to end up happening, bro. Eventually, what's going to end up happening, we're going to end up having to use bartering for land purposes. Like when it comes to precious metals like your gold and your silver and stuff like that, you're going to end up. I'll give you X amount of gold for 10 acres of land. You see what I'm saying? It's going to end up getting to that point. We're heading in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in before we pass away.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm being cryogenically frozen, bro. I ain't going nowhere.
Here he goes. Well, folks, on that note,
I got another 5 years till I'm going to get frozen, and then I'm going to come back. How you like me now?
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
folks are already doing it. Like I said, bartering for land. They're bartering for land, bro. We're at that point.
I mean, that's the safest bet.
And here's a key note for y'all. If y'all looking to buy some land, make sure you're. Never mind. I'm not going to give it up because I don't want. Yeah, I'm not going to give up the secret. We'll keep that between ourselves.
Oh, you're going to hold something in for a change?
Yeah. Shut up.
I'm just saying, man. You was just going. I just kept looking at you.
No, I ain't going. The game is to be sold, not to be told.
But people, when it comes to health, if health is the number one wealth in this world.
Stay healthy, bro. Stay healthy, family.
Or if you can't stay healthy, and if you're not healthy, get healthy. Do whatever you can. Like I said, if we can find, I'm going to make it my homework.
Now, we're not saying, hold on. We're not saying just be absolutely holistic and everything like that.
You got to do it in stages.
Yeah.
Don't be like these crazy vegans that sit there. I'm going vegan and stop eating all the meat.
Yeah.
And wonder why their bodies
shut down. Yeah, exactly. Don't do that. Do see a doctor if you have the capability of seeing them. They're not all in for the money. Not all.
No, actually.
Shout out to some doctors that's out there. I want to shout out my doctor, Jessica Cooley. Love you. She's doing her thing. I know you got some people you want to shout out yourself.
Oh, Dr. Hafferkamp, my actually primary care physician. After I had the incident with the other doctor, and actually, you know what? I'm going to point this out, and I told you this, but I didn't tell them. The doctor I had an issue with was an African woman. And I just want to tell you all that. So it wasn't like I was mistreated, by a man, let alone a white man or a white woman. I was mistreated by a pretty darn black woman. And I couldn't argue with her. I was like, I didn't want to. If y'all understand me, I don't want. When it comes to health, I ain't gonna argue with you.
Two things I'm not gonna argue with: food or healthcare, because you're gonna do something to me. Either way, stick something with me or mess with my food. Either way it goes, I'm not arguing over it. Nope, I'm not doing it.
I know. And she just wouldn't listen. My heart rate went up. I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yep, I've done that. I've definitely done that. And then call them and leave a message.
Oh, no, I didn't even do that. They called me. Didn't answer the phone. By that time, I was already on the phone getting a new doctor. Got that. I've been with Dr. Hafferkamp ever since. Best choice I ever made in my life. He listens. He understands. And not only does he lets me make decisions with him for my own benefit. And I can suggest things to him. I ask him about something. And he can't get an honest answer. What more can you ask for in a doctor? A holistic one.
Well, the whole thing about it, and folks, do your research. If you feel like if a doctor is giving you a diagnosis, if you feel like it's a misdiagnosis, do your research. Get your second opinion. There's nothing denying you that right. That's the great part about living in this country.
Again, that's another benefit of not having free healthcare is you really don't have a choice. You can't choose the doctor you want. You can't choose what doctor you go to. And I'm going to just leave that at that. Because those of you that want free healthcare, do the research on it. It has some great benefits of having free healthcare, but sometimes you may have to go to a doctor. You may have to go to a doctor if you're living in Phoenix and Tucson. That's about a day.
Well, for everything, there's a pro and a con. You gotta look at.
That's a pretty big con to me, especially with these gas prices.
Speaking of gas prices, don't you know that nationally we're the highest? Everywhere else is lower, including California.
You know what I heard? That's because anybody that smoke weed.
On that note, bro, family, thank you for tuning in to another week.
We appreciate y'all.
Every last one of y'all, we appreciate you guys always for tuning in. We really do. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of his heart.
How you gonna say from you ain't know what's in the bottom of my heart? I might have gas.
From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of his heart, we thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week.
What the hell?
Shut up.
The bottom of my heart.
Yes. You gotta shut up.